everyone, and good morning. We are on. Today is Tuesday, October 1st. Man, October 1st. Well, October 1st means one thing for sure. That means no matter where you live, we have already had to endure at least a month of pumpkin spice everything. I mean, I think here, which in South Beach, it's really kind of hard to think about it being fall because everything's so green. But, I mean, you can't walk in a coffee place or anywhere that they don't remind you that it's not even fall because it starts like the end of August. Everything, pumpkin spice. I mean, I like some pumpkin spice, but no, not too much for me. But, I mean, these days, I'm not buying a lot of pumpkin spice. I'm really not buying a whole lot of anything. I buy food and everything, of course. Last night was really interesting dinner. It's one of the old family recipe of mine. I mean, I think it's been handed down for many generations, but it's kind of like Hamburger Helper. It's a spin on that, but it's where you really you don't have the hamburger. So I mean, it's more like Hamburger Helpless, but I mean, in the case last night, I mean, it was really just some elbow macaroni in a bowl. It was good though. I mean, that macaroni was some tasty shit. You have to cook it just right. You got to cook it just right. But I mean, it's no wonder the cost of things anymore is so ridiculous. I mean, I think if I would have had to go to the grocery store last night and I would have actually got a box of Hamburger Helper, I mean, that's a good $3. And then, if you can catch something on sale, you might be able to cut your costs down to $6 or so for the Hamburger Helper, but I don't know. I mean, things are just expensive, and and I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I love my life. It's just, I say it's a big change for me, but it really isn't a change because when I was growing up, my parents were very young, and for many years, I mean, we were happy, we were healthy, but now, I mean, were we poor? Yeah, we were poor. I mean, I would remember going with my mom to the little store, and I'd always get a piece of candy. It's because of the little store we went to, the guy that owned the store was the grandfather of one of my good playmates. So he always gave me like a piece of gum or something. So I always got candy. But I mean, in the early days, wasn't a lot of times, I mean, every once in a while I might get an ice cream or something. But I mean, it was like a treat. It was like a special event. We'd go to the newsstand and I mean, God, I would get one of those crack-ass frozen Mountain Dews. Good Lord. This one store had this frozen Mountain Dew and popcorn, and I mean, it was just some green sugar. But God, it was so good. But I want to clarify yesterday that now my ex, again, many things funny, and a lot of the jokes on me. I guess really all the jokes on me, but I don't hate her. I don't want to hang out, but I don't hate her. I really wish the best for her. I hope she has found happiness, or if she hasn't, I hope she does. But just like one of the things in the previous career that I hated, I made a lot of money, but I still poor because the more I made, the more I spent. It was like, never had it, so let's go buy this, let's go buy this. I mean, let's go buy everything. And I mean, you can do that so long, and eventually it doesn't matter how much money you make. I mean, you'd probably have to borrow money if you needed to file bankruptcy. And I mean, ain't that some bullshit? I mean, I'm sure I could Google right now, bankruptcy attorney, and I would find one that would take payments. You know, take payments for their attorney fees and for the cost of filing bankruptcy. Now, I'm not an attorney, but I don't think that's a smart business plan. I mean, I understand that these people are getting their debt erased, so the logic is they'll be able to make the payments. Well, I mean, chances are they weren't making the payment, any kind of payments to begin with. What makes you think they're going to care about yours? You know. But it's sad though, because I mean, some people. I mean, I've been there. My first wife and I, when we were younger, you get one thing and you're doing really well, and then you get everything. I mean, and it's stupid. It was nobody's fault but our own. But you know, we had to file bankruptcy, and I mean, I guess you get to. I mean, you got to call somebody. Hey, I don't have any money right now, but I need to borrow some money so I can get all my debt taken away. Good plan. Why not just borrow the money to pay the debt? I mean, you know, whatever. But with her, I really hope she's in a good place. But like one of the things I noticed, and after being with her, I got in the habit of doing myself, and I quickly had to get myself out of the habit. And by the way, after I say this, I'm guaranteed I will never get a convenience store as a sponsor of any kind. And because convenience stores, most of them, when you live in an area, you know, like I live, or any area really, you're on your way to work, you have to stop and get gas, you know, you get a coffee, you get whatever, you get something to take for later. Or I mean, you can be on a road trip, and I mean, you stop to get gas and you go in, and I mean, but with her, you would go in and you would walk out $40 later. $40 at a convenience store, and you got a little bag, got some beef jerky in it, and some other candy. But I mean, $40. $40. And I mean, any stop was at least 10, 12. And I guess, you know, in the mindset I was in at the time, you walk in, you know, you make this much money, and okay, it's $10, it's $12, it's $40. Well, yes, it is $10, it is $12, it is $40, and you know, before you know it, I mean, you have done. I mean, in the last 3 months, you have done lost a Powerball jackpot winning right there in the convenience store. They don't make a lot of money on gas. Gas is not the money maker. Them to charge you $2.50 for a little bitty drink that you can buy a 6-pack of for almost the same price on sale. I mean, that's where they make the money. So I don't do the convenience store thing anymore. I mean, you know, I do the hamburger helpless stuff. I mean, you know, some days yes, some days I eat really good. I mean, I guess I need to take a lesson from some of the Cubans. I mean, one of my friends works with some people. They and their significant other, who they share 4 or 5, I don't know how many kids with, and have lived together for the last 30 years. And, you know, I think the guy owns a contracting business of some kind, very successful. But at the same time, they get $672 worth of food stamps a month. That's why they don't get married. she has all these expenses. He makes a ton of money. I mean, they're going and buying lobster every fucking day. And I mean, when you have a hurricane here, I mean, they offer assistance for people, who got displaced during the hurricane, who had damage. I mean, there were people in line that I don't even think lived here. I think they just come down from their cousin's house to get inside the hurricane zone and talk about the damage. And as long as they could just show an address, handing the money out. But nowadays like I said, have my own business, and it's good. It's slow to start, but I mean, you gotta put in the time. I get it, not a problem. So to supplement, I do some food delivery, some Uber Eats, some DoorDash, and to me, up until a month ago, it was just a lot of fun. I ride a scooter around, on South Beach. I go in a restaurant. I talk to some people. I pick up some food. I deliver the food to the customer. I knock on the door. I knock on the door. I hear a lady's voice. Just a minute. No problem. And then I wait. And I wait some more. And then literally, after about 5 minutes, this beautiful woman, opens the door, butt-ass naked. Butt-ass naked. I mean, everything. I mean, they were pretty. They were pretty. Some doctor did a fabulous job on them. Oh, yes, he did. They were pretty. She was pretty. Colombian, I believe. But I hand her the food. I smile. I mean, there was no not smiling. She hands me a $5 tip. I literally tell her, thank you, and thank you. She closes the door. I mean, it's not a crazy story. I mean, it's not the first time I've had someone open up the door, naked to pick up food, or, someone opens up the door and they're standing kind of behind the door, they're kind of peeking out, but they've got the door open about yay much. And what they're forgetting is, like my condo, for example, but many of these condos, it's really popular here to put like a big mirror wall. They forget they're standing right in front of a big mirror wall. I mean, I'm looking at them, but you see 2 feet, 5 feet behind them, right there it is. But no, what was so funny about this girl is, okay, you weren't wet. You didn't get out of the shower. I mean, she wasn't having sex, and if she was, it wasn't good sex, because she answered me in a really normal tone of voice, and there was zero noise. And I mean, I heard her, and she did not shout. She was just talking in a normal voice. Be there in a minute. What took her 5 minutes to get to the door? And the only thing I could think of, because nothing makes any sense, she wasn't trying to get clothes on. She wasn't in the shower. I mean, if she was in the shower, I mean, she somehow managed to just get completely dried. I mean, she had this big, beautiful, like lion mane hair. What is it about that just drives people crazy? A lot of women, if their hair is like that naturally, they hate it. But, oh my God. I think it's something to do with it. And animalistic. I'm not sure, but it's good. But the only thing I can think of is this girl. You don't know. I thought I had another possibility there for a minute. I thought maybe she was into, some kind of like crazy, kinky, dark rope bondage or something. But no, I mean, I've seen that before. She would have rope marks on her. I mean, 5 minutes would not be enough time for that to go away. And I mean, and not getting it tied. I mean, good God, no. So, I think what I like to believe in my heart is she was just a really kind and considerate woman. And she was having trouble getting undressed because that was going to be half of my tip. I mean, it's the only thing that's ever made any sense to me. But, I mean, the whole Uber Eats and the delivery, I mean, most of the time you're taking people food. So, they're not upset. I mean, most people are happy. Now, most people here do not tip. I mean, not once, much less twice. But man, it's a vacation destination. Other countries are different, other cultures are different, and some people are just fucking cheap. I mean, some people are just fucking cheap. I mean, they talk about like Jews, like sure, Jews don't spend no money, and I mean, I didn't grow up around not one Jewish person. No, not one. Here, there's many, and I've delivered food to many people. And do all Jewish people tip? No. I mean, I don't even know, but some of them do. Some of them do really well. But it's no different than any other, like I was talking yesterday. It's no different than any other group of people. There are people who are kind and considerate and nice within every group of people, and there are people who are just fucking assholes that you don't want anything to do with. And I try to make it my point to be one of the good people. Now, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect, but I mean, if you make an effort. Now, sometimes you will do something that affects someone else in a way, and maybe you could do something differently, but really you're kind of doing what's best for you. And I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you, because if you don't do what's best for you, you can't benefit anybody else any. And I mean, I guess when I first got divorced, I'm telling you that relationship game out there it's a doozy. I mean, you're so devastated from, the heartbreak, and then once even whether you're over it or not completely, you've got to get back out there and you got to move on. And I mean, I met a lady and she was really a wonderful lady. I mean, it was one of those people that you send a message to, and I mean, like on Tinder, some people, I mean, I guess it's a lot generational. No, it's just, again, it's people. But you send like a message to, like with some substance, wanting to talk to this person, let them know a little bit about you, you find out about them. Anyway, it was like that. Send a message, when I get this message back that, I mean, was like, God, it had substance. I mean, this person, I knew immediately could have a conversation. And so this is what is one of the things that's funny to me. Many Tinder profiles, I mean, I don't know that I've ever saw it on a guy's profile. We are different creatures. Men, women, different. But I mean, that's another day. But anyway, a lot of women will have on their profile, especially Tinder, not here for a hookup. I mean, even if it's Plenty of Fish, not here for a hookup. Well, okay, great. I mean, and I mean, I guess the definition of a hookup to me, a hookup, well, I guess a Tinder hookup to me would be one where you meet somebody, you don't really, for whatever reason, it's not really going to be a boyfriend, girlfriend, dating, relationship situation. Maybe there's just some kind of chemistry. Maybe you're both just horny as hell and you end up having sex and you never talk again. Okay, that's a hookup. At least for me. But anyway, they'll put on their profile, not here for a hookup. Well, I'm talking to this lady and, by messaging and then through text. And again, messaging, everything's great. And, looking at her profile, pictures look good. And again, not here for a hookup. So we decide, because this is when I had started simplifying my life. So instead of going out to dinner, we decided we were just going to meet for coffee. And I mean, depending on where you go, meeting for coffee, fuck that. Here, that's a good $25. For two of you to meet for coffee here, it's a good $25. But then at that time and where we were, I think, no, when I got there, she already had her coffee. I only had to buy mine. So, I got by like $5-6. But I walk in and I see her. She actually stands up. We meet, we greet each other, and she is a very beautiful woman. And, I'm a little bit, no, I'm a lot. I'm a lot of a sexual person. So, my kind of thinking was, I didn't know if, with talking to her, that she and I would be compatible in that arena, because, again, back then I was reading these profiles, and if it said not here for a hookup, I'm thinking, okay, they're opposed to, they want some kind of long drawn out thing. Kind of like with the filters. I see a woman's picture, I assume that's what the woman looks like. Okay. But anyway, the question was quickly resolved, because I grabbed my coffee and we're in this little sitting area with a couple of couches, and I go and I'm sitting down kind of perpendicular. I think that's the right geometric term. I'm across from her, and we're sitting on perpendicular couches, I guess. But I can see her, and she's kind of turned this way, facing toward me, and dressed very sexy, but not slutty. Okay, so we're sitting there talking, and after we've talked for 5-6 minutes, she uncrosses her leg and recrosses them, and she kind of does this delayed, pause when she has her legs open a little bit, and she has on a skirt. And she has on a skirt. Just a skirt. No underwear whatsoever. So, immediately, I go ahead. For me, it was another check mark. I think she's going to be good. And, we dated for several months, and she was a really good person. But me, I really wasn't over the ex at the time, so, the ex calls, and here my dumb ass goes back. I was raised really well, but sometimes and I consider myself to be intelligent, but some things just, anyway, not very smart on my part, but, I ended up breaking off things with her, and I'm sure it hurt her, because, in all honesty, it hurt me, because she was a good person. She was a whole lot more than the no panties at the coffee shop, but it's one of those things. I didn't want to hurt her. I didn't try to. I didn't set out to. But I still learned it was my fault because I wasn't in the place I needed to be in a relationship. But, then when I finally found happiness, you can still get in a right or wrong relationship, but at least then you can make a better choice and you're not like pushing something that's may or not be there. I'm not really sure what's going, other than, just always trying to be a good person. Because there's way too many assholes out there. But again, good people, bad people, and God, I really hope when you guys listen to this, you are not expecting something to flow like fluidly, seamlessly, because this is probably going to be it's going to be random. We'll come back and we'll hit the points, but as we go through life, just try to find happiness. I've had family members of my own, hit the absolute bottom of the happiness, and there's nothing funny about that ever. But just, find yourself, make yourself happy. And when I say don't force something that's not there, but just, you'll learn to be happy. Anyway, guys, I'm trying to keep these episodes much shorter than the first one yesterday. A lot of it, upload time's crazy, and I want to make it to where it's easy to listen to for the listener. It's something that doesn't take up a lot of your time, but you can come back to, and listen to each day, and hopefully gives you a little something. If you want to call in, again, the hotline number is 305-699-55855. And then the email is jamie@wtfarewedoingnow.com. Both of those will be up for you. You got a question, got a comment, send us a message, call us. We'd love to hear from you. I want to thank everybody for listening, and I want to send the shout out to one of my children's friend, Lucas. Lucas kind of last night adds me on Snapchat out of the blue. I'm pretty sure he was drunk. No, I'm 100% positive he was drunk, and just up texting. I was up working, trying to get video uploaded. And turns out while we were texting, it was real late when I got the video uploaded. He was the first person to ever get to listen to the podcast because he wanted me to send him the link. He was really that bored. But I sent it to him, so shout out to you, Lucas, and you guys have a good one. Catch you tomorrow.